Dear students, in this video I am going to explain matter in our surrounding chapter, which is a chapter of chemistry class 9th. So we'll start the video. The chapter is matter in our surrounding. The topic number 1 is matter. Matter is anything that occupies space and has mass. Though matter has two characteristics. It occupies space and it has mass. Everything that we see around us is matter if it occupies space and if it is having mass. Like it exists in the form of 5 basic elements that were known in earlier times, that is air, earth, fire, sky and water. For example, any example you can take that is in your surrounding, that is matter. But if you take an example like shadow, the shadow is not a matter. Try to think why it is not a matter and try to give answer yourself. Try to search for this answer. And matter has few characteristics. Characteristic number 1 is matter is made up of small particles, which is known as atom. Same, we'll take example a wall. If wall is matter, it is made from very small particles, that is called bricks. If we think a big wall is matter, then the brick will be showing there as small atoms. In same technique, matter is the bigger part and the smaller particles are atoms, which means matter is made from very small particles, which is atom. Number 2, because matter is made from very small particles, then the particles are very small, we cannot see through naked eyes, and these particles will have few characteristics. Number 1, the particles are continuously moving and the movement possesses a type of energy which is known as kinetic energy. Then the next one is these particles have space between them. On the basis of their space, they have been divided into different states of matter. We'll do it later on. And the next one is particles of matter attract each other because they have force of attraction. Again, on the basis of different states of matter, they have different force of attraction. Then we have characteristics of matter, and then because the matter is made from small particles, we have few characteristics of particles also. Moving further, we have 3 states of matter on the basis of space, their force of attraction, their packaging, etc. So it is divided in 3 states mainly. Basically we have 5 states, but other 2 states we'll deal in the next video. Solid, liquid and gas. As we know, solid, the constituent particles are very closely packed, whereas in liquid it is less closely packed as compared to solid. Where gases have the particles very far from each other, thus the force of attraction of the particles of gases are negligible, whereas solid have the maximum force of attraction between the particles because the particles are closely packed, whereas in liquid the particles are less closely packed, thus the force of attraction is there but it is lesser than solid. Point number 3, force of attraction between particles is very strong. Kinetic energy between the particles more than that in solid, and particles have maximum kinetic energy in gas. So the point number 3 basically deals with the kinetic energy. Why the kinetic energy in the particles of solid is less? Because the particles are very closely packed and they have very high force of attraction between them. So it is not possible for the particles to move here and there. Whereas in liquid, the force of attraction is little bit less, so particle can move here and there. Thus we can take our hand into the water. Where gases, we can move our hand freely, thus the particles are very far from each other, they have huge space and the particles move very fast, which means which energy? Kinetic energy is there. Kinetic energy means the energy which is possessed by particles due to its movement, motion. Next, solids have definite shape and volume, size also, whereas liquids do not have definite size but have definite volume, and neither shape nor volume, nothing is definite in gases. So we have to use, when we have to use gas, we have to compress it. Otherwise we cannot know how much gas we are using. First we have to convert gas into liquid, because we know that liquid has fixed volume. Thus we can know what volume of gas we are going to buy from market. Our cylinder has 14.2 kgs. So gas, it is very difficult to measure it. So we'll convert into liquid form. Then moving next, have high density and cannot be diffused, solid. It's very difficult to diffuse. What is diffuse? Diffuse is intermixing of particles of matter on their own. It is very difficult in solid to diffuse with solid, because both have very less space between the particles, so difficult to diffuse. Whereas they have very high density. Solid have mass and it occupies very less volume. Less volume means it will have high density, whereas liquids density is lower than solids, and that can diffuse, and gases can diffuse very easily which have very low density. Mass occupied per unit volume is known as density. Density is directly dependent on volume, it is not dependent on mass. More will be the volume of anything present on earth crust, will have less density. Like cotton, volume is more, its density will be less. Iron, its volume occupied is less, that's it will be more denser. And the last point will be solids are incompressible, because they have very high force of attraction between the particle, very less space, so we cannot compress it. Almost liquid, almost incompressible. Liquids can also be not compressed easily, but can be compressed by using high pressure and low temperature. Gases can be compressed very easily with the use of low temperature and high pressure. Few exceptions are also there, like we have cotton, solid, but we can compress it because it has air filled between their particles. Thus few, like rubber, we take example, rubber we can stretch it, although it is a solid. Solid is very tough, but rubber we can stretch, because external force, if extra external force is applied on rubber, it will break down. Thus solids, if changes their shape, means we have to apply high, very large amount of force to make them change of state. Moving to the next slide, we have change of states of matter. That means states of matter can be changed also. And solid can be converted into liquid, liquid can be converted into gases, vice versa. Gas can be liquid, liquid into solid, or solid directly into gas, or gas directly into solid. This can be done by using two methods, basically by changing the temperature or by changing the pressure. So because this is a big topic, we'll continue the same in the next slide. Till then, you revise with the help of this video and keep on revising, keep on learning. Thank you.